Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, mate?
Good.
Good. Good to hear.
Just good.
Just good.
Just good.
Weird time vacuum for people who record this. We're recording this a few days earlier than we normally would because of the Player 2 Marathon. I have no idea how much money we raised, but thank you to everyone for donating $10,000 each to get us way beyond what our actual goal was. It's insane what you achieved. Thanks.
And congratulations to the person who ever won those prizes.
Yes,
the big ones.
Yeah, whoever's been picking off those big prizes, the Xbox Series X pack, the PS4 500 million sale pack, the Switch one, the PC one, as well as all the individual games. Yeah, congrats to all the people who've won those sort of things, and thanks for the donations. Very briefly, because just kind of conveniently timing wise. Last week we spoke about Xbox and their year ahead, and then they had their Xbox Bethesda developer _direct this morning, where they showed off 5 different games. They announced that there was going to be 4, but they showed off 5. What did you make of what you saw, which apparently was only 3 of the 5 games?
3. There's a reason why I only saw 3. We'll get to that. So what was the first one? Minecraft
was first, yep.
I really don't care because I don't play Minecraft, but it was nice to see him just talk about it and how the game plays and this and that. It just feels like it's the Command and Conquer game. Or Age of Empires in just Minecraft.
It could be baby's first RTS.
Ooh,
which,
there we go.
Yeah, there's kind of a place for that. Like, I think that's, if you want to try and get people into a genre, you need stuff like that. But
and then if your parents look at it and go, that's not son or daughter, whatever they have, say that's not play this game instead. Command and Conquer, Age of Empires, or StarCraft. Get him into the
get that Minecraft shit out of here and play the real thing.
Get him into the good stuff. Exactly. This kid shit. But then we move on to Forza, and they're from the ground up, as they said multiple times through their presentation of.
Oh yeah, didn't they at that point?
It's like, I mean, you could just edit out all the times they said from the ground up, because that's all I paid attention to, and their talk of how they went around and just took pictures of someplace in South Africa, of 4 terabytes of grass and strawberries and all other stuff to make their whatever it is they want to make, just realistic grass. It's like, you could sell me like the most stupidest thing and I would listen. You could sell me a pillow and I would say I want to buy it.
It's just pretty wanky, that shit, though. I don't know.
It is.
Oh shit!
It is.
I feel a sneeze coming, but
it's just funny because they just barely talked about cars. It's like, oh, there's 500 cars to choose from. That's fantastic.
Great.
What
They're all just going to go around on a track.
And they'll talk about, you drive on the grass. There's some dirt on your car now. Oh dear. You crash, you die. No, you don't really die.
Yeah, like I can appreciate that those sort of things, like in terms of, creating realism and that sort of thing, like I guess it's impressive tech that you get Gran Turismo and you get Forza Motorsport and you get all these other races, and they are kind of like constantly one-upping each other in terms of that sort of stuff, but also like, who cares if you're that into that sort of level of the experience? Then just go out and like be a proper rev head.
Just go drive an actual car.
Yeah, like if you want to see the dirt build up in weird wells, go drive your own car, hit the dirt.
Well, you could, but it's probably cheaper just to play Gran Turismo or Forza as well.
Well, it is, but
unless you go buy a steering wheel, then might as well just go drive a real car.
Yeah, go drive a real thing because it's going to cost you just as much at that point. But
so those things I saw at PAX, it's like, oh, it's a real driving car simulator thing. I was like, I don't need that.
I've got a real car. I'll go drive it.
Like, you can win this. I thought, what the hell am I going to do with that if I win that? Where's it going to go? Just in the tip?
I don't know.
That's where it's going to go. Or the tip shop? I don't know. Someone else can have it. I don't want it. And then the middle game, which was Hi-Fi. I think it's Hi-Fi Rush. Is it Hi-Fi Rush?
Yep.
Yeah. Just, I find it funny is just the people who created the Evil Within, which you just scratch your head and go, hang on, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really been working super well for them in the last, few years. So, yeah, Evil Within's been fine. Like, it's been received all right, but it's never hit the heights that Mikami used to hit with Resident Evil 4 in particular. Then there's Ghostwire, which was kind of okay. and obviously they've been working on this game on the side. But yeah, totally different. But I think it's probably good for them because it certainly opens them up to more people. And the reception seems to have proven that it's worked so far. Like, obviously there's no reviews out there because they just kind of cold dropped it on everyone. But
Yeah, I'm surprised that somehow
online,
they got that
everyone's all over it.
through. Yeah, I'm surprised that they actually got a game and no one knew about it.
Oh no, we knew about it.
Knew about it, but
It
they
was
just went,
leaking in
"Oh,
like a
hey."
week beforehand. Yeah,
It's like, hey, here it is.
it was never
Game.
formally announced. And yeah, about in the week before the event, things started to kind of pop up as listings were going live and all the sort of back end stuff that just has to happen when you're putting a game up online, and you get people just scraping it, whether it's on Steam or the Xbox Store or PlayStation or whatever it happens to be. People kind of find out. It's just that you don't necessarily have context. But we were starting to piece together beforehand. But like what I'd expected of the game was still far out, exceeded by what we actually saw. Like everything was we kind of learnt pre-release from, or pre-announcement even from the stuff that had leaked out there. It seemed really cool, but seeing the game in action was even more impressive. So I've got it installed in the Xbox at the moment. Keen to give it a crack tomorrow before I head out for the marathon. Hoping that maybe it's a last-minute addition to the schedule for the marathon. We'll just try and squeeze it in there and give it a bit of a crack during the stream.
Is there any Minecraft in that 24-hour stream?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah,
Thankfully,
cut it. Just cut it.
I'll have to double check that. Actually, I'll talk about it before we. I
was also looking at it too. I thought start off with the thought, did they just get someone to make a new Sunset Overdrive game, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, it does. It does kind of have the look a little bit.
That's the look. I don't know if it has the feel. There's no grinding on.
No rail grinding and that sort of thing.
Because they went on to make Spider-Man games instead.
Let's just kick out WWE 2K22. No offense, 2K. Thanks for providing us games. Let's just cut that one and play the Hi-Fi Radio instead. Rush instead. Go Simulator 3. Get out of here. King of Fighters 15. No, get out of here.
Yeah, get out, Go Simulator. Go play the second one instead.
Either way, I mean the marathon's gonna be great. I won't belabor that point too much. And yeah, the game looks really cool. So keen to try it out. I might even just Matt Houston's internet is insanely good. I've realised from afar, like 10 times what I've got here. So I'm possibly just gonna.
Wait, is that in his temporary house or his?
No. He's like in his actual home. Yeah, he's been back home now for a while. So,
well,
I think I might just have to pack all my consoles and just hook up and remote play everything in the background when I'm not actually on camera doing whatever I need to do there. Just remote play a game on the background. I could just remote play some hi-fi, but Hi-Fi Rush, whatever it is. So yeah, that's where you tapped out. So you were just like totally hooked by that game, and so that's it.
Yeah, it said it was available now on Games Pass, so I just stopped and just never went back. I thought I'll watch this later, and I never did.
Yeah.
Even though Redfall was in there, and I'm excited for Redfall, and I just completely ignored it.
Yeah, the rest of the show was really awesome. ESO was there, and they just continued nailing that right to the point where like I started downloading on my PS5 to maybe finally commit to an MMO. And as you said, Redfall was there, and Redfall's looking really, really awesome. Every single time it resurfaces, it looks that little bit better. So super keen to get into that. But
I think the more surprising thing too is that 4 of the 5 games have release dates.
Yeah, Forza was the only one that didn't.
And everyone's getting shitty about that. I thought it's a racing car game. Just go play Horizon 5 for another 6 months or something.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't stress.
You'll be fine.
It's not even the good racing one in comparison to Horizon, so just get over it. You'll be fine. So we better shift over to patched updates, because that is actually what this episode is meant to be about. And because we didn't do one at the end of December, we've got quite a lot to cover. I presume. I know I do. And I suspect you've got quite a few to go through as well. So we better get into it.
But not so much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you get the ball. I mean, wouldn't matter anyway. But you get the ball rolling. So what have you been playing?
Okay. Let's go way back to December. Which
feels like a long time ago. 2 months ago.
It was a long ago. It's always 2 months ago. And we go back to God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, of course.
And got through that, finished it, It's a bloody brilliant game, I must say that. Story-wise, best story game I've played in years.
Good.
It brought faith to me back in video games after playing 100 hours of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which just nearly
Broke you.
almost broke me until good old Boy Simulator 2018 came and saved the day.
They're just both games are just so good.
And I can't say too much, but when just the final part where all the doors open, things get exciting.
Yeah.
The music, just everything about that, you just get excited. You're like, oh, I can't wait, and then it ends.
There's
Not
only
badly.
that
It's not
one
bad
kind of
thing.
slow. There's that one slow point where you're collecting fruit, kind of earlier in the game, in the first half of the game.
Oh, I
It's a
thought you
little
were
bit
talking
rough,
about credits. I thought you were talking about the credits for a second
No.
because when you finish the credits, it's a long walk too. But that's
Well,
the
yeah,
same as
yeah.
same as God of War. If you play God of War, it's the same thing with the credits. You just go for a nice slow walk until
Yeah,
the credits
yeah.
finish. And this, I was saying not much more. But then I thought, you know what? I enjoyed the game so much that I'm gonna go and platinum it.
Oh,
And
that's a
would
big
you
commitment.
believe? No, is it? Well, it's already done. It's the quickest platinum I've ever done.
Well,
For
isn't the game still like 60 hours if you want to play? I haven't even gotten the platinum yet.
yeah, 60. I think I did it in 60 hours. But the dumb thing was, there's some like really hard bosses. I'll say bosses. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're really bosses. Say side bosses. I put it down to like the story mode difficulty, and I still found it hard.
Yeah, right. Oh,
I was just
the
looking at it.
side stuff. Yeah,
I
I've
thought,
heard
oh
that.
yeah. I was like, oh yeah, it's a story mode. They'll just roll over. I'll just defeat them. No, not so much whatsoever. Just still got destroyed. I felt like an absolute noob. I felt like I was just.
Jeez, I haven't heard
I
noob
didn't
in a
know. I
while.
didn't know how to play video games for a moment. I was just going, what am I doing wrong? Then I had to do this thing called studying the enemy, which I haven't done in years since old Nintendo 64
What is this?
days.
A bloody Dark Souls game?
I need to get one of those books on how to almost. It's just
Do you have the
Right.
plat for 2018?
no. I looked
Yeah,
at
right.
what I had to do. I looked at what I had to do. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna find 50 ravens and all this stuff. It was like, no, no
Um,
thanks.
yeah, I mean 2018 kind of does the same thing with you because it throws the Valkyries at you to take out, and the
Yeah,
Valkyrie
but I think
kind
there's
of work in
like
the
a
same
whole
way.
heap of other things too. Like you have to find all the crows, which I'm not doing. There's no reason for me to get the crows. Unlike in Ragnarok, there is a reason to find the ravens, not crows. I should say
Yeah.
ravens. You correct them. The ravens because you get something out of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'll have to go and get that plat at some point, but I haven't had a chance to go back yet. It'll be on the cards for this year.
And then we finished that, and thought, you know what? I'm just going to not play any more games for the rest of the year.
Until
Not
the
the
Witcher rolls
case.
along.
Yes. So I thought, you know what? I'll have a 2-week rest until the game, The Witcher 3, was out. I haven't touched the game for about, I reckon, 5, 6 years, and oh man, that game is still good.
Good, because yeah, I didn't get around to it. It's installed, but I haven't gotten around to
Oh.
it. So
I don't care about like if it's upgraded or whatever. Just playing that game again, you just think. You want to know why it won so many awards? Because it
the world is just amazing.
was amazing. Yes, the combat is still not the greatest, but
It's like a
not the worst.
solid 7 or 8 out of 10 combat.
But it's not the worst combat going around.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting like something like Ragnarok where you're getting absolutely flooded with enemies. Sort of with Witcher 3, you might get 4 or 5 at the one time, and you can just cut them in half, or line them up and just cut them in one single sweep,
Yeah.
and you're done.
Um,
But because I was doing the challenge of finishing it before the end of the year, it was also the most painful gameplay as well because there's all these fun side missions to do, and I couldn't do any of them. I was doing them at the start, and I was getting
because you were just
incredibly
mainlining it.
distracted, just like mainline it, and it hurt.
So
Because
did you
I was
actually
like-
succeed in the end? Because you've been cagey about that with me since. Did you actually
Oh,
finish
what?
it in 2022?
Well, what are we gonna do this now? We can do it now if you want.
Yeah, let's do it now.
I'll do it now. Okay, so
We'll link in, like we'll have probably our next episode will probably be, it's a bit late, but it'll be the proper resolutions and addressing all the goals from
Right.
last year and
so
all that sort
I'll
of
leave
stuff.
the other. I'll leave the other two. I'll say it with this one.
Yeah.
So I think it came out, was it the 15th or 16th? I know I had 15 days to do it. And I looked on how long it was to beat. It was 50 hours or something.
So
So
that's
I
about
had to
3 hours
average
a day.
about 3 hours a day. Plus, on top of that, I had to paint this room as well. So that sort of ate into my playing time
The
as
time
well.
you
So
had, yeah.
I'm looking at it. I'm going, oh man, I'm never going to finish this. And then I did finish it at exactly 8:05, December 26th.
Oh shit!
I
You had
Yes,
that's
it
like
took no,
5 hours
it
a
didn't take
day, in you.
50 hours. No, no, it took 30. It took me 36 hours because I just single-handedly. This is what I did. Ignored
Flicked it down
every
to
side
easy,
mission.
and
Ignored every side mission. Just skipped every single bit of dialogue in the game. So what was the story? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Find Siri. That was the story. That's all I cared about.
It's all that matters.
Yes. So I'll probably say 14 hours of just not listening to people
Anything.
talk. Anything. Well, except for Zoltan and Dandelion. That's the only two people I listened to. Everyone else, ignored. King
And fair
Random
enough
Dude or
too.
whatever his name is, don't care. Any kings couldn't get care less about. No, Bart. I listened to Bart. One should
Oh yeah,
always
okay.
listen to Bart the Rock Troll. He's a good
Oh
guy,
yeah,
Bart.
the rock troll. Yeah, I remember that bloke. Oh, that. Jeez, yeah. I've got to find the time to get into it. I'm super keen to go again, but and yeah, it's installed and ready to go, but I'll have to wait a bit. There's just
There's
too many
also
games
no,
coming out.
yeah. It's like I had pretty much did with doing no money whatsoever because all your money comes from Witcher contracts, which I ignored every notice board as well. So
Yep.
any missing persons, any this, that, whatever,
Who
didn't do.
cares? They're still missing.
Still missing. So I did finish it, and then I thought, you know what I'm going to do for the rest of the year? Go back and actually play it properly, and that's what I did.
You double dipped. Holy shit.
So I haven't played it since after the start of this year. I just thought I'm going to just try and do the one thing I didn't do last time, which was try and collect all the Gwent cards.
Yeah, okay. I can't remember if I did that in the end.
Gwent
Is there
cards,
is
and
there a trophy or achievement for that?
there is.
Cool. I can take a look, see if I actually did it.
Yes.
Um,
You just do all the side missions, all the fun stuff, like the
I
good
mean,
old
Gwent's amazing, so
Brian Pan mission. Never.
the best.
And just I don't know what other missions there are. Throw a baby in an oven. That's another good mission. That's a quality mission. That one.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
I think that's the main. I think that's the main story actually. So I'll throw the baby in the oven to mess with
too far gone, I don't
Shadow
remember.
Ghost. It's a long time ago that one. And then New Year hit, and then I haven't played since because I've got other games to play. Because 2023, I've got no time to play old games because there's too many games coming out this year.
So that takes you to 2023. So what have you been playing since the new year started?
Well, it wasn't. This one wasn't
Nothing.
2023, but I'll talk about it anyway.
There you go.
It's the Forspoken demo.
Oh, the demo. Yep.
I like you said, I only played 20 minutes of it, and I'm on the side of people that weren't overly excited about it. I didn't hate it, I just didn't find it exciting.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think last few videos, it just dumps you in the middle of nowhere, does like a half-assed tutorial. Press X, jump over this log. Here's your
And all right,
here's your
go
moves.
combat. Have
Hold
fun.
L2, hold R1, whatever. There's your moves. Fire and whatever the stupid thing is. And then off you go. Doesn't tell you anything else. Doesn't tell you how to do any of the parkour stuff or... I don't think... Is there even any missions in it? I can't remember. Like,
There's kind of
I-
one. Yeah, there's
one
kind of
mission.
one mission line. Yeah.
I know I rocked up to a house and changed the cape, and that's all I did. That's all I remember. And
That's all that
fought
matters.
some knight. And that was it. Then that game went from my top 10 of games I want to play in 2023 to pretty much gone to oblivion. That's...
Yeah, and then the reviews have come out, and it's not been reviewed super well. Though to be fair, and I mean it's cutting into my own games a little bit, but like I'm playing it right now, and I'm about 4 or 5 hours in, and I don't have much bad to say about it. The combat feels really good. The traversal's a little bit loose, so you kind of overshoot the mark a little bit because they're trying to go. It's a little bit Sonic, and you're trying to go too fast, and so they don't quite stick the landing all the time perfectly. The dialogue.
I've always heard things about the dialogue. The dialogue I've heard is not
It's been
the
fine.
greatest. fine.
Yeah,
Some people think it's a bit awkward, but
and I've
they've
been
just
really
been-
invested in Frey, the main character. Like the opening, the first chapter of the game, which is like she's in New York and she kind of gets Alice in Wonderland ripped into the world of Athia. Her story there had me really really invested. Like I wanted to kind of ensure, like she's had it rough. She's been caught on the wrong side of the law, all of those sorts of things, and then like I was invested in trying to help her to sort all her shit out. But she comes in and yeah, look, there's kind of this confrontational sort of dialogue between her and Cuff, the little arm bracelet thing that she's got, and certainly they don't shut up. And the game clearly recognizes that because it even gives you an ability to toggle the dialogue down, right down to only essential stuff. So if anyone's really upset about that, then just activate that setting and you'll be fine. But yeah, like I know the sort of things that people are complaining about, and there was one video in particular that was being circulated by someone who I listen to fairly regularly, Mr. Matty Plays, who was putting out a whole bunch. Like he had one video that he shared out there that was kind of meant to highlight some of the perceived to be pretty poor dialogue between the two of them, and I could see why people weren't happy, but I had no real dramas with it at all. It's not meant to be that ultra serious sort of thing. It's meant to be a little bit tongue in cheek. It's meant to be a bit lame, not shit lame, but just as in like dad joke humor. Bad, but not.
so
But like,
people that don't have a sense of humor is just those are the people that get angry about it.
yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe my sense of humor's just gone to shit. I don't know, but that's kind of where I'm at in the whole thing anyway. But
Oh, there's the question they asked. Are your parents yes or no? Yes. Did you enjoy Forspoken? Yes or no?
oh,
Yes.
there we go. So maybe there's the yeah. Okay, we'll start to narrow things down based on that. I, for the life of me, cannot find my assassin. Sorry, not my Witcher trophies.
Oh.
While we're going through all this, but anyway. Yeah, sorry, keep going. So yeah, Forspoken, the demo.
All right. So
I
then we get on
ticked off
to
one of my
the
games.
games, the beginning of 2023, and I thought to myself, I'm going to play a game that I'm not very good at. I'm going to try and enjoy to play. And at the moment, it's probably the stupidest idea I've had. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it for the rest of the year. But it is Shakiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Shakira hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie. And yes, I'm a person that has no idea how to play Souls type games, and I figured that out very quickly when I died about 10 times in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm just a button mash guy, not a strategic. Wait for
Parry
the right
and all that sort of
opportunity-
shit.
Right opportunity and hit. Or it's going to be a long year.
But
Probably
you're gonna stick with it. You're gonna get it finished.
I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to try and stick with it. I don't think I've gone very far, and I don't really care, because every time I do kill one of those mini bosses, it's the most satisfying thing I've ever done.
I mean, I
It's
guess
just-
that's kind of the point, right? So
Yeah.
maybe it's working for you.
Just right, like one of those little kids who just is a sore winner and just makes fun of everyone else for losing, like up yours, you're a loser, and just take that. And
Do the Spider-Man pose in front of Uncle Ben's. Have you seen the meme? The one that gets used of what's his name? Tom Holland. He's like posing in front of the
no,
gravestone, which I think was like from recording of one of the Spider-Man most recent Spider-Man movies. And he's like posing in front of the camera and so but it happened like the camera's pointed at the gravestone. I don't know, he's kind of there while they were setting up or whatever the case happens to be, but
right.
it gets used all the time for that sort of shit, that like the thing's completely kicked your ass, but there's you being this arrogant prick in front afterwards.
Oh no, is that the it's not the Spider-Man one, it's the Flash, like TV,
Oh, was it
the TV show Flash, not the movie.
TV Flash?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the one you're talking about, because I know there was the Twitter one where it was just Twitter's face and a Twitter face and a Twitter tombstone. It's just Twitter killing Twitter sort of thing. Pretty sure it's
Oh yeah,
Flash.
sorry, that's right. It was It was flat. I don't know. I guess Grant Gustin looks pretty similar to Tom.
yeah. I
Tom
was gonna say
Holland.
they do look a bit similar.
Yeah, well, that's right. Because the Oliver Queen Tombstone. Yeah, but I mean that meme gets used perfectly for those sorts of things. So you've died hundreds of times, but there's you after beating that one mini boss.
Yeah, take that, you stupid boss. And then, yeah, still go try and play that for the rest of the year. How long it's going to take, God knows how long.
I admire it.
It's going to be a while. And then we go on to a bit of a different game. A game that I've had for a while, and I've just never bothered to play it. And that is the so-called reboot game of Saints Row.
Oh no.
And I was a fan of Saints Row in the day, and I can say this is not a reboot. It's just...
And it is not good.
Yeah, you can say
Yeah,
that too. It's not very exciting. Let's just say that. You
Yeah,
do a
fair.
mission, is like, yeah, I'm done. Great. Now what? That's what it feels like. It's just like, oh, let's go continue on, see what happens. It's just like, can this game finish already? Or can something exciting happen? This so-called reboot that's pretty much not a reboot. It's just the exact same thing in a desert. And that's the game.
It's not great.
It's just I got the collector's edition. I feel like you with your Fallout 76 collector's edition, and
Fucking
I probably won't
throwing
be
it.
abusing it. I probably won't abuse it and say, oh, fuck Fallout and all this stuff.
Fuck Saints Row.
None of that. It's just I thought they could do a lot better because I thought, oh, it's gonna be a reboot, this and that, and it just wasn't a reboot. So all those people that disliked the Saints Row video trailer, all those
They were justified in
ago,
the end. They were right.
they were right, and I apologise for that. Because I thought, oh, just relax. It's
It's just
a
internet people
reboot.
being assholes.
And then it's like, no, they're actually right. And I am happy to say that I was wrong because I thought, oh, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They could do something good, remake it, make it better, and they did none of that. So, congratulations, Deep Silver, for doing
Ruining
the
your
exact
franchise.
same thing as before. Well done. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to get onto a better, far more exciting game with a good story, and a story that's far better than some of the movies that have been made. And that is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh yeah, cool.
That is a game where yes, it is a thought of a Souls type game, not exactly like it, because you can change the setting
Yeah, you
if
can toggle
you're
it when you need.
if you're rubbish. But the one thing that is good about it is the story. Even though I've played it, this is the second time I've played it, I still get excited when I see the stories, like all these twists and that. You're like, oh, this is getting exciting.
Yeah, I mean all the stuff they've kind of unlocked by kind of bringing in the sisters and all that sort of stuff, Inquisitors, all that kind of side of that window of time between episode 3 and 4 is one of the coolest things that they've been doing with Star Wars in the last few years, and you see it popping up in a whole bunch of like the Disney Plus series. You see it in like Obi-Wan as an example. You see it in Jedi Fallen Order. There's heaps of awesome games that are really leveraging that stuff, and it's really awesome content.
I think the other thing is too that they just don't reference anything Skywalker related or
Yeah,
Darth Vader or any of that stuff. It's just its own story.
yeah. I mean, like obviously spoilers for people like Jedi Fallen Order does cross over with Vader. Like you obviously have a run-in with Vader at the very very end of the game, but
But
you also
very, very, like it's for about 30 seconds, and that's about it.
well, and even then, it's not because of a Skywalker thing or like that big sort of Skywalker narrative. It's because he's like the most lethal force in the galaxy, and you've managed to cross paths with him and get your ass kicked. Like that's all it is. It's not because of that same
And you also pretty
Skywalker
much,
thing.
you've taken out like a couple of his or what they called sisters.
He's
as
a little
well.
underling, so he's pissed.
Yeah, you're taking out some of his apprentices or whatever you call them.
Yeah, that'll do.
Old-
Yeah, apprentices do.
Old two-horn chin,
Padawan and all that sort of stuff.
that crap. Yes.
And he's gonna be pissed about it. What do you expect him to do? He's just gonna chill out and go, nah, fuck it, they can keep dying, whatever. They just weren't up to it.
I should just recruit this boy.
Yeah. So
You might.
give it a crack. So
I have.
it
One
works
thing
well.
I did do. One thing I did do was avoid old
Frog.
bongo frog. Saw it in
Oh.
the hole. I was like, no thanks. I'll stay well away
I'd
from
be
any
one of those
mini
people.
boss.
If I played it again, I'd still put myself through all of that again. I reckon.
I almost fell down the hole without even noticing. It was like, look, I was paying attention, like, oh, there's a frog down there, this and that, not realizing that there's another hole just in front of me, and I almost fell down that. I was like, oh, jeez.
It was nearly on.
But that'd be absolutely disastrous. The one thing I'm trying to avoid is that frog. The one thing everyone talked
you
about
fall
when it
into it.
first came out was that frog.
Oh,
It
everyone
wasn't
lost
about the
their
game.
yeah, myself
When I was
included.
losing, it's like this stupid. I was like, what the hell's a bongo bongo? I was like, what the hell is it? And then you start saying, it's like, it's just a frog. Like, could be that bad. Then you did it, and your frustration of trying to defeat it.
Hours.
I remember,
Hours
did
and
you
hours
do,
that
I
took.
remember the play two players. Did you? I could be wrong, but
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
your video? Didn't it have the frog in it, or no? I mean, it was a while ago,
I
so
can't
it could
remember.
be.
Yeah.
When was it come out? 2019. It was
Yeah,
like
2019.
4 years.
Pre-pandemic, so like 25 years ago.
20. Oh man,
It's been a long time since COVID kicked off.
that would explain why Cal has a beard.
Yeah,
It's been that long.
it's a lot of growth now.
A lot of growth. No cape or poncho. Poncho free in Jedi Survivor, as I've seen in the trailers.
I think the ponchos are going to be there though. I think.
Oh,
I'm not 100% sure, but
that doesn't really matter. That's the only thing I noticed because you just wear ponchos in Fallen Order. But that's okay. I'm not bothered. Poncho or not. Like I said,
the
still
game's
excited.
awesome. Yeah,
Can't wait.
I mean, we've already discussed it for our most anticipated games. It's right up there
Nice.
for the both of us, so it's gonna be cool.
Wasn't for Nintendo because it's not on Nintendo.
Nah,
What a shame. That's what I'm gonna do too.
They'll
I'm
do.
gonna try out Monster Hunter Rise one of these times. One of these days on Games Pass, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever you want to do. See those wonderful extra 30 frames a second and how amazing it will look.
yeah, I've got it installed, but I haven't gotten to it yet. So soon enough, I hope. We'll see. What else is on the list?
That's it. That was
Oh, that's it.
the final one.
All right, so for me, it's a fairly lengthy list. I might even just kind of go platform by platform because it'll help me keep track. So on the Switch, starting with that one, there's two or three that I've been playing. No, three. Sorry, in particular. Dragon Quest Treasures, which I'm still working through for review at the moment. That code kind of came in really close to launch, so there was no great rush on the whole thing, and I'm just kind of chipping away at it when I get a chance. Prequel to Dragon Quest 11, but totally different sort of it's totally different characters, totally different sort of gameplay. It's not traditional JRPG gameplay. It's more action based, and it's kind of cool. So it's just there's a player who plays on the YouTube channel for people to check out. Make sure to do so, and eventually a review will go up. The game that's probably disappointed me the most over the entire December through January period is Sports Story. You know, Golf Story from the Switch when it first came out. Sports Story is rough. They've tried to do too much. They've tried to pull in too many different sports,
Too many sports.
and then couldn't
One
nail
does
them.
not. One doesn't succeed in too many sports.
Yeah, so
And
you tried too
Cool.
hard and you cooked it. The heart's just not there. I don't know. I don't know if it's something that can be fixed with patches, if it's just some balancing stuff or whatever in terms of some of the gameplay that they need to tweak. But even some of the writing's a little bit lackluster. It just doesn't hit the mark like the first game did, and it's a real shame because for years I've been keen on them to finally bring that one out. So I don't know. Better luck next time, guys. I'm sure they'll still sell plenty of copies because the game was obviously super anticipated. So at least financially, that should still keep them afloat, which allows them the time to potentially go off and I don't know, do Golf Story 2 rather than Sports Story, and maybe they'll get back to what worked and be better off for it. But anyway, the main game that I've spent the largest chunk of the December-January period playing was Fire Emblem Engage. That was sent to me by Nintendo for review. They sent that in mid-December, which was really, really awesome because the game didn't come out till the 20th of January, so I had more than a month to play the game before it even came out.
that sounds very Nintendo-like.
No, Nintendo's really good with that sort of thing for the most part. It's only like Pokemon is a weird situation, which is not really a Nintendo call, but it's a Pokemon company call, or a Game Freak call, whoever it is.
Freaks.
Yeah, and No, I mean, other than that, like they've been really generous. I remember having, I mean, the OLED they sent me well before the launch, so that I could then also so that I could do coverage for that, but then also do uh, Metroid Dread that was coming out at the same time for it. I assume Zelda when the time comes, and I won't be the one reviewing it because I don't want to take the risk that I may hate it like we hate Breath of the Wild. But I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, it could be fantastic. We'll wait and see. We've already spoken about that in the preview, so I'll leave that alone. But I'd imagine there'll be plenty of leeway on that as well. Nintendo have been really, really good about it. They're really tight about their NDA stuff, so it I think allows them to get copies out there and feel confident that it's gonna be all right. Because if someone screws up, they'll just sue you and completely ruin you. So
Didn't one dickhead release a game before the embargo and they weren't happy about it?
yeah, probably.
Some guy called Steve.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. The less said there, the better. I'll get myself in trouble otherwise. Because we've had run-ins at Nintendo, conveniently enough. So we've had crossover appointments and those sorts of things. So I won't go down that path in case it happens again. I was
just asking a question. It was just some guy called Steve. Could Dan, Steve, one of those two. It's one of those two names that seem to just stuff everything up for everyone. That's all.
Yeah, it is something about Dans and Steves in this industry that like they're dickheads.
Weird.
But anyway, yeah, Fire Emblem is amazing. It gets right back to what like made me fall in love with the franchise with Awakening on the DS. I caught up with we've got to shout him out because it's his franchise. Caught up with Damo during the period that I was reviewing it, but before the actual embargo had hit, was telling him about it, and he was just losing his mind over the whole thing. I then also told him that I'd finished it and was still 3 weeks before the game came out, and that really upset him a little bit. We're still going to see if we can get him on for the patches. I've got to have a chat to him because that's probably what we do. Yeah, either next week or the week after. We might do the resolutions and all those sorts of things and like any sort of goals for the year, and then the patches after that. But we'll have him on board shortly, and he might even be able to talk a little bit of Fire Emblem with us at the time. But yeah, he was kind of frothing over the entire thing. So it was good to kind of have someone to talk about it with as I was playing through it, who knew Fire Emblem far better than I did, and I was able to describe things, and he was able to kind of confirm, deny any recollections that I did or didn't have. But yeah, the game's amazing anyway. It doesn't go like Fire Emblem Three Houses went with that really persona-y sort of. You've got the calendar and you've got the school sort of setting, and so it's all about the relationships that you build and all that. And they kind of cut that out for Fire Emblem Engage and get back to kind of the core, just tactical combat stuff. And there's less of that filler around it, which is good.
Was there a Fire Emblem game that was just like Hyrule Warriors?
Yeah, so you had Fire Emblem Three Houses, and then you had Fire Emblem Three Hopes, which was the Musou style one that was that hack and slashy sort of thing. That was kind of almost like a what if for Fire Emblem Three Houses instead. It was kind of what if things went slightly differently, and they just put you through all that. So that was all pretty cool. Fire Emblem's just killing it at the moment in terms of its quality, in terms of the number of games they're churning out. They're churning out heaps, and they're a really high standard. And yeah, Engage is awesome. And please, people, go check out the review on the Player 2 website. So that's everything on the Switch, which then takes me to PlayStation, where I've been kind of ticking off a whole lot of stuff over the time. As I bring up my trophies, because that'll help me recall everything. December, there wasn't as much that I was playing there because I was really kind of working hard on the Switch side of things with Dragon Quest and Fire Emblem. But I did take some time. Oh, geez, I'm all the way back in my list after looking for Witcher from before.
Gwent. Gwent killed.
Yeah, Gwent card. Callisto Protocol, though, I played. It's just not Dead Space, unfortunately.
It's a very average Dead Space, from what I heard.
Well, they went for melee combat heaps more than what Dead Space does, and then they just didn't really nail it.
Horror.
Yeah,
that's not the survival horror way.
No,
it's run away or shoot the legs.
Yeah, exactly right. So, yeah, they just didn't quite nail it. But the game looks gorgeous. I was kind of into the story they were trying to tell. I was like so in beforehand. I was listening to, there was a weekly podcast series that was coming out that was like a prequel story that they were delivering. It had I've forgotten, Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones /
the Geraldine.
Yeah, Yeah, Phasma. She was like the main character in the thing, and it was like really kind of showing how the whole thing kind of started. It was a really really awesome story and delivered through kind of like a 20 like was it 6 episodes of about 25 minutes each. It was really really cool. The story around the podcast as well as the game is great, but it's just that gameplay that's a bit rough. It's a shame because it's really really good otherwise. But sticking with the horror thing, I played Little Nightmares for the first time finally, years after kind of being keen on that little 2D side-scrolling horror inspired sort of thing. It's not full blown horror like a Resident Evil or a Callisto Protocol or Dead Space or something like that, but it's dark, it's moody, and it's definitely trying to scare you with some of the scenarios they put you in because they rush you, and then it does have that dark, moody sort of atmosphere, so it kind of instills panic, but not in the same horror way that like a more genuine horror title would. They're not trying to scare you through this horrible monster. It looks disgusting. It's trying to kill you, but it's more they panic you, they rush you, they try and hurry you along and get you really anxious. And it's suspense more than horror, but it's really good. Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I won't go super deep because again, you're not a JRPG guy, but and I've also done a spoiler cast with John O'Peck of 8-Bit, so go check out that on their channels, where I can talk about it in far more detail. But it was just awesome to go back and replay a game that I absolutely adored from the PSP that they've remade. And the only thing that I really don't like about it, and it's a thing that happens with basically every remaster, is that the game, the gameplay looks awesome. Go on, sorry, what was that?
One door, except for one.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't a door thing. The gameplay looks awesome. Like they've completely rebuilt all the assets. Even the gameplay itself has been tweaked to make it feel a bit more modern, even though it was pretty good anyway. Held up really well. But they've made a few little tweaks to just make it feel that little bit fresher. But it's when you get CG cutscenes, any game that does any remaster, when you do get the CG cutscenes, no one seems to want to just recreate the cutscene. They just take the old one and up-res it, and so it sticks out heaps in comparison. And this is one of the best.
Pixelated.
Yeah, this is one of the best remasters in terms of the gameplay that I've seen. Like they've replaced like all of the assets to make it look way way better. Now it doesn't look as good as Final Fantasy VII Remake, but it's not that far off. But then you cut back to the cutscenes where like the character model for Zack looks a little bit different. Like in terms of the hair thing, it's, as you said, it's a bit more pixelated. It's weird. I would like, considering everything they put into the gameplay side of things, I don't understand why they couldn't have just gone, let's just genuinely recreate this cutscene one for one, but with brand new assets, and like just remake the entire thing. But they didn't, and no one seems to do it, and I just don't understand why that's the case, because it really ups that production value. But whatever. I tried out Sayonara Wild Hearts, which was a rhythmy indie game from a couple of years ago that lots and lots of people had really sung its praises, but I'd never given a go. It's like a 2.5 hour, probably 2 hour long game, and it doesn't meet the maybe because it's just been hyped up so much that it was never going to meet it. But it's fine, it's all right, but entirely forgettable. I thought maybe that's again just because of the hype and the anticipation people created for it. But yeah, I was not wowed by the whole thing like a lot of other people did. I went back and finished Evil West. Did you play Evil West?
No, I never got around to it.
It's a good time. It's kind of got that PS3 360 sort of mini arena combat style thing. Like you kind of get into this big open space. Oh, okay, cool. There's explosive things here. Cool, we're going to fight. You take a few steps in and all of a sudden, in this case, vampires appear and you try and take them all out. And it's a good time. It's a good time. But it's not this modern kind of, pushing games forward sort of thing. It's very much a throwback, but it looks good and it plays well. So there'd be some fun to have in that if it pops up on a PlayStation Plus or Game Pass or something like that. I don't know. There was an indie game called Hoa. It basically just like, it looks like a Studio Ghibli joint, like the Spirited Away and all those like really popular Japanese anime movies. That I've never actually watched a single one of, but their art style is fantastic, and it really has that look about it. The gameplay is pretty I said baby's first RTS before. This is like baby's first platformer. It's really, or like puzzle platformer. It's really, really light. It's really, really basic, but it's fine. It doesn't overstep its boundaries. It's a couple of hours long, and you move on. So, and I got a platinum for it. So great, awesome. Beyond that, a lot of it, a bit like you with Jedi Fallen Order. I'm playing the Sly Cooper games for a full playthrough series at the moment. That is already starting to air, so people can go check that out. About 4 episodes in by the time this episode goes live. I'm working through Sly 1. I'm playing it on the PS3 for the sake of the full playthrough, which works really well. But I'm also playing it on the Vita at the same time. I'm staying like a couple hours ahead on the Vita so that I've kind of refreshed myself on what to do, get any cobwebs out, and then go and play it on the PS3 and do a much better job the second go around, just to keep the playthrough of a reasonable length and minimize any frustrations that might come up along the way. So I'm working through those at the moment, but I will do Sly 2, I will do Sly 3, and I'll eventually get to Sly Cooper 4 or Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, which was the actual new one on the PS3. I don't know if I'll put them all out in one big block. You've obviously got Jedi Fallen Order that we're going to be rolling out in time for Jedi Survivor to come out. So maybe I'll take a break. I'll finish the first. Yours goes to air, and then after that I do 2, 3, and 4, or I know we've got other people working on things. That Sean's got ideas for it's like full playthroughs he wants to do, so we can kind of Sly something else until I'm done. I don't know, whatever. But I'm having a good time going through them all, so that's pretty sweet. I've fired up Dead Space, the remake. EA has sent us. Matt Houston did the review for the website, and by the time this episode goes live, his review will be up there on the Player 2 website. I actually don't know what he scored. I'm going to go take a little look now so that we can discuss it, because it's post embargo by the time this episode goes up. But it's a pretty true remake to the original. Like I've enjoyed what I've played so far, but I've only barely kind of touched the surface. So there's the review.
Is it more? So like every remake, is it darker, more lighting, just like every other remake?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like
more suspenseful, I should say, for a horror game.
He's given it A-, so that's like Metacritic side. That's like 91 or something like that for Metacritic from us. So he's a fan, and I mean, Dead Space was amazing back in the day, and it clearly holds up, and I'm enjoying my time with it so far, and I'm definitely looking forward to spending a bit more time with it. And I have noticed people spotted because the trophies went up, and this was before I had a copy of the game myself, but the trophies went up, and there's a trophy for an alternate ending that wasn't there before. So people are pretty busy trying to dig into what that actually is. I've taken a look at like the trophy completion rate for the game for the game, and looking at that specific trophy. And obviously there could be more people maybe on Xbox or on PC with the achievement side, but in terms of the trophy side of it, the trophy is called Reunion, and it's a silver trophy. The details are, it says see the alternate ending on any difficulty mode. So it's not
Reunion.
It's called Reunion.
His wife's alive.
And yeah, maybe. The rarity is 0.1% completion so far of all the people who've got all the people who are reviewing it so far, which is obviously not as many as the millions of people that are going to buy the game. But even if that sample, only 0.1% have actually achieved that thing. So don't know what it requires to do it yet. I'm sure that'll bubble up once. By the time this episode goes out, I'm sure we'll already have an answer that whatever that scene is, it'll probably be on the internet for people to check out already. You may have already seen it by the time it goes live, but right now there is this massive curiosity. Like, the trophy is there, it's indicating there's an alternate ending. Everyone I've spoken to has no idea what it is yet. Like, people who've been reviewing it haven't found that, or at various different points that I was talking to people hadn't finished the game at that stage. I spoke to Matt, and it's like, have you seen this trophy? Because you finished. He's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I finished the game. Yeah, I watched the end cutscene, and that's exactly what I remember from before. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, there's an alternate ending, so go find it, please. And I don't know if he has, but
I reckon he's lying. Don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about.
He could be hiding it. He could be hiding it.
Usually, when someone says don't know what you're talking about, it usually indicates that they do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, anyway, Dead Space is something I'm definitely keen to play. I mentioned before I've installed ESO, so I look forward to giving that a crack. But the last game that I've been playing that I didn't finish last year, that I should have because it's an easy one to do, but I'm working through new Tales from the Borderlands at the moment. I started it last year when it came out. I got a couple episodes in, and then some other games came out, so like God of War, for example, and so that fell by the wayside very, very quickly. But I'm just kind of working away at it. So I've 3 out of, I think there's 5 episodes in the game. I've done the first 3 now, so I'll chip that away over the course of the next week or so and tick that one off and get that story, because I love Borderlands. I loved the original Tales from the Borderlands. This doesn't hit as well as the original, but it's still a bit of fun. So that's, as I scroll through my list, that is it. It's a lot of games, but that's it. So what's on the cards for you this month?
So, say more Saints Row, try and get that finished and done. Same with Jedi Fallen Order, get that done because I've got a playthrough to do after Sly Cooper. And then maybe get into Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, that's definitely... Yeah, I've got to put that right near the top of the list now.
After that, I've got no idea.
I mean, there's obviously plenty of releases coming in Feb. For me, like I'll finish Forspoken. It's about 15 hours long, apparently, to get through the campaign, which is awesome, because I thought it might have been double that length. So I'm thrilled that it's only like a 15-hour long experience. I can kind of get through it and move on, or dive further if I'm really still enjoying it. But if I'm not, or if I'm just busy, I can just move on. Similar deal for Dead Space, 10 hours, so I can knock through. That'll have me done with all the big releases from January, which would be good. To have Fire Emblem done before 2023 even started was kind of awesome in terms of unlocking some stuff for the year. And then Feb's just got heaps of games between Hogwarts, Wild Hearts, Atomic Heart, PlayStation VR 2. There's heaps of cool stuff going on. I should also shout out PlayStation. There'll be a review going up. I should have brought it in with me, actually. PlayStation sent me the DualSense Edge, their Elite controller. So expect to see some stuff there as well. And hopefully they can help us out with a VR 2 as well, and I can do some stuff for Horizon and all the other VR games that are coming to the platform as well. Kirby comes out this month. There's Octopath Traveler 2, which JB Penning will be losing his mind over. Scars Above comes out. Like, the Feb's stacked, so good luck surviving that. Though I did just scroll down into March and see that Skull and Bones is still listed there. That's a bit of a laugh, since that's A, I wasn't going to play it, but B, it got delayed again, so I can delete that from the list. Makes March that tiny little bit easier. In fact, a hell of a lot easier. I'm not going to play Wolong. Don't need to get my ass kicked by a Souls game. So it leaves Jedi, Resident Evil, maybe Bayonetta? I don't know. It's not too bad. Maybe Bayonetta. Or just keep working through the February backlog. But yeah, that's kind of it for me. There's a lot of releases coming this month, so I'll be pretty flat out. So probably another big updates next month. But that's about it then for the both of us. Anything else spring to mind at all?
No, I think what I said before, that's about it.
Yeah, and just play what you play. Like, at the moment, I mean, there's heaps and heaps of games coming, but if you can kind of cut some time. I'm doing one of those little Twitter threads. Every time I hit credits on a game, and just a few little notes that I can kind of keep a record of that sort of stuff, which is good, because I always worry that because the number of games come through, there's too many that I don't finish, like a new Tales from the Borderlands, for example. So having that there kind of encourages me to actually go back and finish some stuff off. It's been a week since I've actually finished something. Oh, great, let me find this small thing that I've wanted to play for years, or let me finish this game that I didn't for whatever reason. So I'm enjoying having that there as an accountability thing in a way as well. All right, we'll wrap things up there because we're getting close to an hour. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Awesome stuff there. Please subscribe and go and check it out. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kick it a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto?
Matto_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is Player2AU. Thank you again to everyone who's supported the Player2 charity marathon that's run this past weekend that hopefully hit the $5,500 goal that we were going for, but is already off to a solid start at this point. So yeah, hopefully we can get there. And if nothing else, I hope you just tune in and have a good time over the weekend as well with 24 hours of live stream games. So it's going to be a time. Hopefully I can stay awake through it. Otherwise though, thank you very much for watching. We'll do some New Year's resolutions next week. We'll see you later.